period of our lessons we usually take in this blessed hour in the masjid, a book titled Salat al-Nabi, a book written by Imam sheikh Muhammad Nasiruddin al-Albani. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless whatever we learn today and make and record it as an act of ibadah. May He also forgive our misdeeds and shortcomings through this gathering. Whatever evil we are afraid that is approaching us, we ask Allah to turn it away from us and turn us away from it. Today being the 23rd of Rabi al-Awwal, 1445 after the hijrah of the Prophet ﷺ from Makkah to Medina, which is corresponding to the 8th of October 2023. If we are still together in this book, we stopped at page 186 to 187, and we are going to continue at page 187. So we have concluded the supplications that happen between tashahud and teslim, meaning between the final tashahud before taslim. And also we discussed about the various forms, and alhamdulillah, according to the hadith that was related by Muslim and Abu Awana, that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his last, what the final word he mentioned, he used to say between tashahud and taslim, which is salutation of peace, is Allahumma gfir li ma qaddamtu wa ma akhartu wa ma asrartu wa ma a'lantu wa ma asraftu wa ma anta a'lamu bihi minni anta al-muqaddimu wa anta al-mu'akhiru la ilaha illa ant. So by the special grace of Allah and His mercy, we will continue from at-taslim. The taslim, meaning the salutation of peace. Taslim is the end, is what made the prayer person to exit from salah. To exit from salah. The moment you establish salah, the gate or the gateway to salah, to the establishment of salah, is at-takbir, called takbiratul ihram, according to the hadith, and then its exit is at-tahleel, at-taslim, which is the salutation of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And by the special grace of Allah, today we are hoping that we are concluding this book today. Inshallah, Sifatu Salat al-Nabi. So then, it's either one of these two will happen. Either we repeat the book by next week, inshallah, or we replace another one. Meaning we'll find another book and replace it after we are done with Sifatu Salat al-Nabi. Wa alaikum assalam, sheikh. So that's why I'm giving a notification before. Well, I will tell you what settles in my mind too. Yes. Okay. Well, okay. So, but I'm just notifying us before the end, so that we know what is it. Are we going to replace it, or we are going to repeat the book? Then I will tell you my own after the consensus from Ijma. At taslim, the taslim. Please let us concentrate in this very part of the book, the very end of the part, because there are some information that we really need. If you can jot them down, if you can memorize them, فَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدُ. ثم كان صلى الله عليه وسلم يسلم عن يمينه. Next, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, after the final tashahud and after his supplications, he will yusallim, he will salute an yamini, on his right, saying assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, hatta yura bayadu khaddihi al-ayman, such that the whiteness of his right cheek will be seen, will be visible. To who? To him? Or to who? To the Jama'ah. Barakallahu feekum. Are we getting it? وَعَنْ يَسَارِهِ, and to his left, saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, hatta yura bayad khaddihi al-aysar, such that the whiteness of his left cheek is visible, is seen. Do we understand? Now, so how can we practice that before moving to the next? This is the first form of taslim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, both sides, the right side and the left side. I know of the others, but we can't actually practice something we are unaware about. Until we come to that, then we can actually put it into practice, so that we are all aware, we are familiarized that, oh, we've come to this particular part, and it won't become something strange to us all. There are almost 1 to 3 to 4 different forms of salam, taslim. This one we just read, the first one is generally known, is the commonly known to us, which is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And this is it. Facing the Qibla. Assalamu alaikum. So you will see that the entire here is visible to those, if I'm actually a follower, Imam, and those that are in my right hand side, and those that are at my back from the right side and even the left side. Assalamu alaikum. Not like this one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You've already turned your face to the back. So it is the cheek that will actually signify, we show Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I hope it's clear. Now, this hadith was related by Muslim, and the similar hadith was related by Abu Dawud and Nisa'i and Tirmidhi, authentic, and they were authenticated. The hadith was authenticated. وَكَانَ أَحْيَانًا, and sometimes يَزِيدُ فِي التَّسْلِيمَةِ الْأُولَى, he would add in the first salutation. What is the first salutation? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Where? The left or the right? The right first. This one is also signifies telling us that anything you do, you are required to start by what? By the right side. Only where there is exception. Like going to the restroom, you go in with your left. You start with your left. Then coming out, you start with your right. But when coming to the masjid, you start with your right. Right? Okay? So everything is expected to begin with right. But funny enough, I just want to escalate a bit. Funny enough is that the time has come whereby using the left has been normalized, especially in eating and drinking. Commonly amongst our children. And these children go out and mix with other children. These children they mix with, most of them are of different faith. which they don't actually know the difference between the right or the left. So they use each and anyone, and the one that appeals to them the most is the left. So they use left to eat, they use right to eat, and they usually forget to even mention the name of Allah. It is very common. I'm a witness. We used to see the children, particularly. These are the future generations. So as a father, as a parent, if you don't see this common little things, they will turn to be the greatest problem in your life. You don't know. They eat with left. It has become normal. And eating with the left is actually signifying what? There is shaitan there, definitely. And without mentioning Bismillah, already you are into it. Shaitan will come, he has gotten a meal of that day. When you eat without mentioning the name of Allah, you are done for that day. A boy, the Prophet ﷺ saw a young man, he said, a young boy, Ya Ghulam, Samillah, mention the name of Allah. Wakul biyaminik, and eat with your right hand. Wakul mimma yalik, and eat in what is in front of you. Don't go the other side or the other way. All of this, how will a child be able to know? You have to come and practice it. You have to bring him close to yourself. It is when they are that young, at that very young age, you draw them close, you show them everything. Their brain picks everything you put them through until they grow with it. But if you are not with them, you become distant away from them. And unlucky enough, your wife or their mother is also busy with what is in her own, with what is bothering her. She won't even mind. And then the child will then embrace friends from outside, whereby they tell them secrets, a lot of things that they can't even tell you because of that gap you created, that vacuum. So you see, they grow up with that and they become uncontrollable. So it starts from little by little and it escalates. So right, please, right, very, very important. Don't follow people that do things because of the population or the acceptance of the people of the world. As long as it contradicts the divine code of law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is as zero. Follow what Allah has sent down of authority, even if few are holding on to it. It is Allah that approves it, follow it, and you will rest in peace in this world and the next. And if you take that path, don't forget, you are a mirror from back and from behind and from above, from every angle, you will be a mirror to some certain people that are looking up to you. They follow every step you take. So if you follow the right path and you show the people the right path, you will have the reward of the people, of the amount of people that follow the path. Same, likewise, vice versa. If you lay a wrong path and people follow that path, you will have the same evil deeds of what they accumulate. Subhanallah wa liyadu billah. Whatever you do and people follow it, you will have commission. No matter how much people follow it, you will have commission on that. And the commission will keep multiplying. Because people, another one will follow that person, another one will follow that. So that's how they will be misled. Now talk less of your own child. How will it be? So it's a very strong responsibility that will hold on to that. The house, in particular, start from your home. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala command the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ, and command, order your family with prayer. Put them through, وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا, and be patient, be steadfast. لَا نَسْأَلُكَ رِزْقًا, we desire no any provision from you. نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكَ, we will provide for you. Your job is to discharge your duty. That's all. Only if we know. Only if we can know. May Allah give us the ability to know the right, and may He is the way for us to practice the right thing to do. So that is it. Please, very, very critical. Particularly this century we are going in now. In fact, we've already in. Hold on to your children. They are debate now through the devil, Shaitan. He will use them against you. And that's why Allah uses them to try you or your wives or whatever you have, your honor, will try in your honor, your child. So it depends on the effect. So may Allah make it easier upon us and guide our children right. So, he's in the right. وَكَانَ أَحْيَانًا يَزِيدُ فِي التَّسْلِمَةِ الْأُولَى. He will add in the first taslim, وَبَرَكَاتُ. This hadith was related by Abu Dawud and Ibn Khuzaymah. So meaning, this is the second phase of at-taslim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That is the second phase of taslim. So anyway you hear that, don't go and bully the imam that, where did he find that from? An authentic hadith. The first one, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The second one, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hope it is clear. وَكَانَ إِذَا قَالَ أَنْ يَمِينِ. And he used to, when he intends or when he say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah on his right, اِقْتَصَرَ أَحْيَانًا. He will shorten it sometimes. عَلَى قَوْلِهِ أَنْ يَسَارِهِ. On his right side, on his left, by saying Assalamu alaikum. This is the third phase now. He would, whenever he wants to do as-salam, when he wants to do taslim in his right side, he will shorten the Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. He will shorten it on his left, meaning Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. This is the third phase. I repeat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. Is it clear? This hadith was related by Nisa'i and Ahmad and Suraj with a sanad, an authentic isnad. Wa ahyanan, also sometimes, kana yusallimu taslima. He will salute with a taslima wahida, only single. He will salute once. Assalamu alaikum. Tilqa'a wajhihi, in front of his face. Yamilu ila sheikh al-ayman shay'an, turning on his right side a bit, aw qalilan, or a little bit. How? The fourth phrase, Assalamu alaikum, only, but in front of his face. It's like you are going, something going front ahead of you. Then turning to the right side a bit, but that is almost halfway, but you are not actually turning to the right side, only, not the left side. You know, the first, second, third phase is like this, turning. It's not like this one. It's not Assalamu alaikum. No. Come on, back. I don't know where he's going, he's looking at, and where he's going to. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. No. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So this one that is only said once, a little bit. Assalamu alaikum. Do we get it? Is it clear? Barakallahu feekum. There is no harm in saying this. But don't go and do this in the village, in a place whereby the people are totally unaware of the religion. You have to teach them, put them through before practicing. That's why, if among the four fundamental objectives, every Muslim is to know, which is compulsory, necessary. Number one is al-ilm, knowledge. You must acquire knowledge. Then what follows is al-amalu bihi, practicing the knowledge. Is a fundamental entity that every Muslim must acquire, knowledge. Okay, because if you do that where the people are unaware and you don't sensitize them, you'll be bullied. Seriously, like the old men, they will bully you. They'll start bullying you with words and other stuff. We came to this world before you. What do you want to show us? What is it? And other thoughts. So this is the first phase. Assalamu alaikum. The first one is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The second one is you add in the right side wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The third phase is what? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Then you shorten it. Assalamu alaikum. The fourth phase. Assalamu alaikum. The Imam can. So, ahyanan. From mustahab. You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. So that you will be spread across the rewards in practicing the sunnah. So by tomorrow, inshallah, or maybe any time, Allah decree that I lead the prayer and I happen to say Assalamu alaikum. I know there is one fundamental question that I'm expecting. I'm expecting a question like that. There is a question I'm expecting, inshallah. May Allah bless that person that will ask that question. Inshallah. And we all know the kind of question maybe, inshallah. Inshallah. So let me continue. وَكَانُوا يُشِيرُونَ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ. The Sahaba, they used to be gesturing بأيديهم with their hands إذا سلموا عن اليمين وعن الشمال, when they salute from the right side and on the left side. فرآهم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال. So the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم saw them and he said, when he saw them doing that, they were pointing, meaning they were pointing the finger. You know, we talked about the pointing of the finger and indication. So the finger, they actually apply it on the finger too. Meaning, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So, or they are pointing with their fingers at the verge of doing the taslim, on the right and the left. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ma sha'nukum, what is the matter with you? Tushiruna bi aydikum, you are just showing with your hands. Ka'annaha adnab khayl shumus, as if it is like you are actually gesturing with your hands like the tails of a wild horse. You know, horse, their tails. How did it used to be? Did it used to be? They wax it to this side and wax it to the other side. Wow. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا سَلَّمَ أَحَدُكُمْ, if one of you wants to say the taslim, salute, فَلْيَلْتَفِتْ إِلَى صَاحِبِهِ, let him turn to his companion. وَلَا يُؤْمِي بِيَدِهِ, meaning let him turn to his companion only one side or both. Now, right and left. Do we understand? Let him turn to his companion, towards his companion, وَلَا يُؤْمِي بِيَدِهِ, and he should not indicate with his hand. فَلَمَّا صَلُّوا مَعَهُ أَيْضًا, when another time they prayed together with the Prophet ﷺ, لَمْ يَفْعَلُوا ذَلِكَ, they didn't do that, they stopped it. They actually did not do or did what they were doing before. وفي رواية, in one narration, إنما يكفي أحدكم أن يضع يده على فخذه. It is enough for one of you, for every one of you, to place his hands on his thigh. ثم يسلم على أخيه من على يمينه وشماله, and then he let him salute upon his brother, the one on the right and the one on the left. Meaning, when you come to salam, tashahud and supplication is totally different from salam, teslim. So when you are done with your supplication, and we say, based on the hadith, pointing of the finger signifies dua, like raising your hand outside the salah. Now, after you are done with your tashahud, your final tashahud and everything, you then place your hands on your thigh. Now, this is the time you want to do what? Taslim, of either one of these four varieties. Assalamu alaikum. Do you understand? Let him turn to his right side. The brothers there on the right side and the brothers there on the left side. I hope we get the point now. Not Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. No. And we say placing the two hands on the thigh are of two, right? Two forms, either on the thigh or holding the knees. We all aware about this, holding the knees. Now placing on the thigh is what this hadith now talked about. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We don't need to practice it, right? It's understood, but do we still need to practice it? Yes. And the final sitting is reported to be like this, right? Placing your left hand on your knee, holding it like heavily leaning on it, clenching your fist. The last dua the Prophet said before salam is what? Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now, the last Jahannam, that is the first one. We just mentioned it now, just recently. The last word he mentioned before salam, Allahumma gfirli ma qaddamtu, right? Wa ma akhartu. This is a very powerful prayer, fa. Please don't joke with it. That's why he made it to be his last word. Now, Allahumma gfirli ma qaddamtu wa ma akhartu. I would say if you are pointing, you look at the finger, the forefinger. And if you are what? Moving, you look at where your sujud position. So, Allahumma gfirli ma qaddamtu wa ma akhartu wa ma a'lantu wa ma asrartu wa ma asraftu wa ma anta a'lamu bihi minni anta al-muqaddim wa anta al-mu'akhir la ilaha illa anta. Assalamu. Are we there? Assalamu alaikum. Not Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. No. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Or Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Or Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. Or Assalamu alaikum. Is that clear? While placing the palms on the thigh. I hope it's understood.
No.
Barakallahu feekum. Now, you don't turn fully. Okay, now. So, wujubu salam, the necessity, the obligation of this as-salam, meaning without this salam, your salah is incomplete and invalid. You know, we have salah that something you do or you don't do in salah is incomplete. It actually does not mean it's invalid. Means the reward will not be completed. But there are actually some acts which, if you do in salah, it will nullify your salah totally. And what nullifies salah is not the same as what nullifies ablution. But part of what nullifies salah is what? Part of what nullifies salah, all of it is what nullifies ablution. But not all what nullifies salah is what nullifies ablution. For example, heavy sleep. If you sleep very heavy, what do? You observe ablution. Do we understand? Do we understand? But when you laugh in salah, your salah is invalid, right? You have to you are going to start again, but does that mean your ablution is also invalid? Do we understand? You have to restart the salah again. Do we get the point? What about eating in salah? It nullifies the prayer. With the ablution? No. But what if I farted?
Both salah and ablution.
Both salah and ablution. Do we understand? Barakallahu feekum. MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khairan. So all of these are very, very critical to know. So now, as-salam is a strong pillar in salah. In fact, it is the exit. It is the exit. So anything that does not have exit, of course, you have to create one. As we used to say, in this world, the believers are not free from any issues. They will always be facing challenges, because that is how Allah has decreed it. A Muslim will always go through challenges, and the challenges were not meant to run him down. They were meant to elevate him in rank if he bear it patiently, and also wipe away his sin, his deeds, shortcomings. Now, a Muslim entirely in this world will never be favored about everything in this world, because he won't always get what he wants. But in the hereafter, he will get anything he wants, even in addition, in multitude, and in multitude. Because it has been said to him, وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِيهِ الْأَنفُسِ لَهُمْ مَا يَشَاءُونَ. For them, whatever they want, they have it. But here, you don't get it. Okay? And so, where am I heading to? Is that if you think you will run away from problem, then you are mistaken. You must have a problem as a Muslim. And you have to face it with dua and total reliance in Allah. If you don't have one, if you don't have any problem, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I'm advising you, I'm advising myself and you, please create one. Do we understand? I am borrowing you this 5 naira. You can pay me anytime. But please, if you don't have problem in this life, create one, please. But create it simply. Don't go and carry the biggest one. But just create one for yourself. And if you don't have enemies in this life, create one, please. You better create one. Because the life of a Muslim is not expected to go smoothly. He is meant to go through a lot to be clean from dirt of this world and meet Allah clean, neat and pure. Yes. If you have some dirt in you, little, Allah will, if your time of death comes, Allah will use some pain through the death to clean it away from you. The death you go through, you pass through, but the pain you feel is actually cleaning you finally from the dirt of this world. So a Muslim has nothing to lose here and in the hereafter. So that's why if you have this mentality, you have nothing to cry over, to cry upon, because Allah is always there and He is aware. Look at the stories of the prophets who are the messengers of Allah. None of them passed through this life safe. They passed through a lot, even far beyond what we are even passing through. What can we even say? We can't say anything. We can't actually say anything. They've gone through a lot in triple times, in triple calamities. Go and take the story of Prophet Ayub, may Allah's peace and blessing be upon him. Only I see. Take Prophet Yaqub and see. Yusuf alayhi salam, go to him and see. Go to the leader of all the prophets, the messengers, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Go through his story and see. There is no enjoyment in his life. In fact, most of his wives are what? Are widows. He started with widow. Majority of his wives are widows. It's not easy. But that's how Allah has designed it. Abu Hurairah said, the moment I realize that Allah tests those whom He loves, I take an honor, I embrace the pain. I take the pain as an honor. I took the pain as an honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah make it easy. So, as-salam, if there is no salam in your salah, you have to restart that prayer. That prayer is invalid. Because the exit is as-salam. وَكَانَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَقُولُ, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say, وَتَحْلِيلُهَا, you see a dot, it means a hadith has been related. It's a bit long. So وَتَحْلِيلُهَا, and it exited. It's exited, يعني as-salah, the salah itself, at-taslim, by the taslim. The moment you say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you have exited the salah. But the moment you establish a salah, and imam has established a salah, your salah has to be cancelled. You have to join the imam. Now, how will you do? Will you just come and start salah? No. You have to terminate that transaction. It's a transaction you've established. You have to terminate it. And which is assalamu alaikum. Wherever you are, standing or sitting, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum, in joining the imam. You can't just go and neglect the salah and join another salah just like that. No, you have to terminate it. And that's part of the ruling. Al-Khatima, addendum, conclusion. Kullu ma tahaddama, all that has been mentioned, min sifati salatihi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the description of the described prayer of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, yastawi fiha rijal wal nisa, are all equal, both male and female. Everything that was mentioned in the dealings, everything from the beginning till this taslim, are all equal, are all made justifiable, both male and female. There is no exclusion. وَلَمْ يَرِدْ السُّنَّةِ مَا يَقْتَضِي اسْتِثْنَاءِ النِّسَاءِ مِنْ بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ. And there is no anywhere or ruling in the sunnah that necessitates a particular performance of the women in the salah. بل إن عموم قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم, rather it is a generality of the saying of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, صلوا كما رأيتموني أصلي, pray as you see me praying. It's general, both male and female. يشملهن, it comprises of them and they are part of it. وهو قول إبراهيم النخعي. It is the same. It is also what the saying of Ibrahim النخعي who said, قال تفعل المرأة في الصلاة, the woman will do in her salah, will perform in her salah كما يفعل الرجل, the same way the man perform in salah, does in salah. أخرجه ابن أبي شيبة بسند صحيح. وحديث انضمام المرأة في السجود, and the hadith that talks about talking up of a woman in sujud, for a woman to talk up, وأنها ليست في ذلك كالرجل, and that she is not like the male. Mursal is a loose hadith. In the science of hadith, there are categories of hadith: Sahih, Hasan, or what else? Da'if, Munkar, Mawdu, Mursal. So Mursal wa Mutawatir. Mursal means is a loose hadith. It's a narration, it's a type of hadith, a narration about a successor. A successor will narrate a hadith and bypass the one who reported the hadith, and he will relate it to himself that he reported it directly from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, while bypassing the actual Sahaba who reported the hadith. So that hadith is considered mursal. It's a loose hadith, meaning that hadith is on its own. Do we understand? It's not like mutawatir, where a large number of reporters report a particular hadith and they will not come together to declare the hadith to be a lie. They won't lie about that hadith. That Sahaba reported the same hadith, that one reported the same hadith, this one reported the same hadith. It becomes mutawatir. So it's a loose hadith. La hujjata fi. There is no justification in it. Abu Dawud reported it fi al-Marasil, in the book, in his own collection of al-Marasil, the loose ahadith. عن يزيد بن أبي حبيب وهو مخرج في الضعيفة, الضعيف weak. وأما ما رواه الإمام أحمد, what Imam Ahmad related في مسائل ابنه عبد الله عنه, in the book of Masail ibnihi, Masail, in which his son Abdullah reported, quoting him, and Ibn Umar, quoting Ibn Umar, أنه قال كان يأمر نساءه, that he used to command his wives, his women, يتربعن في الصلاة, that they should be cross-legging in salah, right? During the sitting, then they'll cross-leg. فلا يصح إسناده لأن فيه عبد الله بن عمر. It is not an authentic hadith, because in that hadith, in the chain of the narrator, there is Abdullah bin Umar وهو ضعيف, and he is a weak man, he is weak. وروى البخاري في التاريخ الصغير, Bukhari reported in his book التاريخ الصغير, page 95, بسند الصحيح, with an authentic sanad, and أم الدرداء أنها كانت تجلس في صلاتها جلسة رجل. She used to sit in her salah the same way the sitting of a man. وكانت فقيهة, she is a woman of understanding during her time. فقيهة. وهذا آخر ما تيسر جمعه في صفة صلاة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. And this is the last of what we can possibly compile of this book, صفة صلاة النبي, من التكبير إلى التسليم, from takbir to taslim. You see, taslim to the end. Takbir. وأرجو الله تعالى. He said, I hope that Allah يجعله خالصا لوجهه الكريم. I hope that Allah will sincerely make it for His face, full of honor, وهاديا إلى سنة نبيه, and a guide to the sunnah of Ar-Ra'uf Ar-Rahim, of his kind and merciful Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he said, وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَبِحَمْدِهِ سُبْحَانَكَ اللَّهُمَّ وَبِحَمْدِهِ أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت وباركت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Alhamdulillah, this is the end of this book, Sifatu Salatul Nabi. Before we close, if there is any question or contribution, inshallah, it's open before the Adhan. Wa alaikum salam. Sheikh. Now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Ta'ala, according to this report, narrations, there is no ta'ala. But saying ta'ala, Allah ta'ala, there is nothing wrong about it. Ta'ala wa barakatuh. But is there any report or narration on that? No. Do we understand? It's actually mean the Most High. Ta'ala. Ta'ala Allah amma yushrikun. Allah is above what they associate Him with. It's actually a kind of praise, one of the gigantic praise of Allah. But in this particular section, you can't add it there because the Prophet ﷺ did not include it. Okay? So it's according to the narrations, I would had it, so we work with it. There is no narration apart from this one. Jazakumullah khair. Now, we seem we all understood this lesson today. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless it. May Allah accept this as an act of ibadah. Wa alaikum salam. He said that the Imam in his taslim, assalamu alaikum, and you came in, you did not meet the full rak'ah, and then he's excusing himself because the salam of the Imam is it means he's excusing you now, he's discharging you to also excuse yourself. Assalamu alaikum. So, is it going to be that when are you going to rise up to complete the salah? Some are actually raising the moment they hear the Imam saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmat. Before he complete, they raise up. Some actually finish it. So which one is the best? Allahu Akbar. Difficult but easy. There are talks of ulama, and alhamdulillah, that is one of the blessing of this book. The one who wrote the book, he mentioned in the Muqaddimah, his own comment, starting of the book, he said, there are a lot of hadith and a lot of scholars' deliberations pertaining this salah itself, but you can't find it in this book because he has brought out the authentic ahadith that generalize a particular part in the salah. So there is no confusion in this book. So now that one is one of the confusions he talked about. But generally, there is no harm if the Imam say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and you rise before you complete the rest. But most advisable, most generally, is for you to allow the Imam to finish, then you raise up. The same way you allow the Imam to go to ruku before you go to the ruku. The same way you allow the Imam to say Allahu Akbar, finishing the takbir before you also say your own takbir. إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامِ لِيُتَمَّ بِهِ. The Imam has been appointed to be followed, meaning to be led. If he said this, you follow. You don't follow him at the same time. That's not the hadith. That's not the meaning of the hadith. You allow him to finish step by step before you follow. So it's the best. It's understood, but so if the Imam says Assalamu alaikum, you rise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You rise. But it's because you rise before him completed, there is no. It does not nullify your salah. Okay, it does not nullify your salah. But the best is the one we just mentioned. May Allah make it easy and Allah A'lam. Allah knows best. Now, check. Okay. Now, have fine.
During your discussion, you said if Imam rises up, start a particular prayer, and you are in a particular prayer before the Imam.
Yes. Nafila. More especially. Nafila.
So you need to exit that solat.
Yes. Yes.
Does that mean if it is not enough and say, like in normal prayer, the obligatory prayers?
Yes.
We still have to excuse ourselves and try to exit that solat and join the one that is they are out already, or what do you do?
That's a very long one. That's a very long one. But short, to cut it short, it's better to join the Imam with the intention of that obligatory salah. Then later you pray this one. You observe the one he's praying. But only if you have a very valid reason of why you missed that salah that you want to pay back. And there is no two jama'ah in the same masjid. Okay? If you even want to pray alone, you have to leave the masjid while the salah is ongoing. But this hadith came directly that there is no salah, la salata illa al-maktub. Aw kama qala Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no salah except that of the maktuba, the one that has been written in the compulsory prayer. So when the Imam is on a salah, whatever you are doing, you have to join the Imam in a general consensus. Allah knows best. Before we continue, let me share.
Okay, my question is on addition to what when a brother has asked. I want if this book has given a definite answer, because I have two conflicting fatwa. There is one fatwa that said if you are praying a naflat, an obligatory prayer is established at any point you are, even if you are doing the last
tahiyya.
You should just cut the prayer and join the obligatory prayer. Some say no, if you are sure you meet up with the Imam before he do the first record, you can continue and complete your prayer. So I want to know if there is a definite hadith that deal with the issue on either to cut the prayer immediately the obligatory prayer is starting, or you now think of if you can meet up with the Imam, you can complete your prayer.
There is no. It's just ijtihad of the scholars. It's just brainstorming, like what the istinbat, what they understood from the hadith itself.
So which one is the
The
idea?
hadith, I just remember the hadith. إِذَا أُقِيمَتِ الصَّلَاةِ فَلَا صَلَاةَ إِلَّا الْمَكْتُوبَةِ. The scholars have to go deep in that hadith one, the vocabulary meaning of each and every word. Fala, there is it. So they say this fala is not actually saying, because we have la, we have lam, and we have lan. So it means it's not actually saying entirely, totally you have to cut it, meaning like it is even haram that you have to continue, because that fala did not come with the capacity, with that huge capacity of power to nullify it. So that's why before I started, I said, that's a very long one. We have to conclude it. So, إِذَا أُقِيمَتِ الصَّلَاةِ فَلَا صَلَاةَ إِلَّا الْمَكْتُوبَةِ. When the prayer has been established, then there is no any prayer. Fala salata. There is no other prayer except the obligated, the one that has been obligated, the obligatory one. Okay? And what are the obligatory prayer? Fajr, Zuhr, Asri, Maghrib, or Isha. Okay? So the scholars now mention this fatawa. If you are certain, because what they don't want you to miss is the sakina, humanina, the peace of mind in salah. Rushing to get the raka'ah or others. No. Calm down and finish what you are doing before you get out. That is more of the one coming from outside to meet the imam in prayer. That hadith talk about particularly. So, but this one is just ijtihad. Yes, if you know you can meet up, especially for the nafila, the scholar gave that room that you can conclude it and then you join the imam. If you know that you can meet up with the imam confidently, completing, like fulfilling the condition.
Maybe second record.
Second but of course, the obligatory one is more powerful than the sunnah. So to an extent that they will say, it's better for you to miss the sunnah in tenfolds than to miss an obligatory or one of its pillar. So it's very powerful. They won't use example that 5 kg of cement is not as same as hundreds of 10 or 50 kgs of cement. We related that hundreds of 50 kg of cement as obligatory, while that 5 kg as the sunnah voluntary. They can be matched together. Barakallahu fiik. Allah knows best. Alaikum assalam.
Is about what understand that if someone is zuko and coming to putting mosque into the mosque, you find the imam and the man praying as
Absolutely.
you can join the prayers with the intention of zuko.
So now, that one too is ijtihad of the scholars. Okay, there is no authentic hadith regarding to that. But still, whatever the scholars say, they have backup of a hadith that related to it. Now,
Okay, now the case of somebody missing the Maghrib,
missing Maghrib now.
yes, missing Maghrib and now joining Isha, and Maghrib is 3 rakat, Isha is 4. As you can
I think this particular question was asked during this day in this masjid. You can go step out because you can't observe your salah in the masjid. At the same time, the imam is observing salah. Different salah. Do you understand? The imam is leading prayer in the masjid, and you also establish your own salah in that masjid is frowned against. You have to step out. One of you, so you don't cause confusion along the religion, along the way. Unity, number one. So, here the scholars mention there is ikhtilaf al-niyyah. You can join the imam with the intention of praying the salah you missed, that you have a concrete reason of missing. Now, with the intention of Maghrib, which is 3 rak'at. Now here, it's either, don't talk. It's either you join, you number one, when the imam rise for the 3rd rak'ah, you are going to rise. But when he sat and rising for the 4th rak'ah, and you join with the intention of Isha, of Maghrib, that you have to sit and keep doing your tashahud and keep supplicating as long as you can, till the imam come back and meet you in that position, and he do taslim and you also do taslim. They gave the hadith, they gave the reason that the imam is the prime mover, so you have to excuse you before you can excuse yourself. But the other saying is the same. You can actually excuse yourself because there is the rule. Something made you have to bring that salah. You have to pray that salah because it's compulsory. And the presence of the rule, the condition, the situation you found yourself, necessitate that you can actually salam, you can exit that salah in the third rak'ah, then you quickly rise up, but you don't quickly rise up because you want to get the rak'ah, but because you want to get the reward of the jam. Do you understand? Two things. Salah is not to be rushed to because I want to get the rak'ah. No. You should aim at the congregational reward, not the rak'ah itself. That's why the hadith of the Prophet that say, if one of you is coming to Salah, let him come peacefully, gently, peace of mind. Let him walk gently and come to the masjid and meet the prayer. Whatever he misses, let him conclude it. Let him complete of Salah and the rest. So if you rush to come to get what the rak'ah of the Imam, there is high tendency that you won't even have almost the reward that is expected to be gotten, because lack of, you have been under pressure, so you lose confidence, sakina and others, which really take a lot of reward away from your salah. The salah is over 10, right? So you'll be graded according to your action. But the congregation is what? It's how many? 20 and above, 23 and above. Reward, 25, 27, which can be compared to the reward itself of the salah, but in the sight of Allah, some is very mighty. Do we understand? So that's why the congregation prayer is compulsory on the name. It's made compulsory that he has to come to the masjid and pray in congregation, that even Allah is sending His peace and blessings to those in the first row. The understanding of that hadith is not actually mentioning, it's not only restricting the first row only, it's actually generally talking about coming to meet the congregational prayer. So the congregational prayer is the key. So, but more importantly, the first row also is part of the benefit. I hope it is clear and understood. Wallahu a'lam. Now, Sheikh. Wa alaikum salam.
Yes,
3:45.
without asking.
Okay, now.
So, and you know that one of that when that's the time, and the time is not up to the last time that are you going to when you're going to go to the house and very hard to the mosque? Are you going to join them in that aspect of time that you see? Or was that also that actually when you know they are moving, the time is not correct? So was that also that?
2:45 bar, not 3, or 1:45, not 3:45 bar.
So, the time that's for that, that actually, was that to one.
Zuhr.
Then there was that two, after two.
After now, 2 after 2.
Yes, there was that. So,
Now,
when they ask you, really put why ask you it's 4 o'clock? So,
Yeah.
that is how they put the time always.
okay,
Doesn't change.
okay.
Every year.
Now, hey, wow, okay.
So, are you going to get later, other person out, or how you also have
No, you can't observe Salah at home until there is a very critical reason for that. For a male, you have no basis to observe Salah at home. Only when there is a very heavy rain that the adhan has to change the tone of the adhan too. Allah sallu fi rihalikum. Pray at your home, at your residence, that you can't come out. But there should be, number one, there shouldn't be any reason to stop you from coming to the masjid to observe Salah. There was one blind man, he used to come to masjid, then he met the Prophet ﷺ, that I am blind, I can't, someone used to bring him to the masjid, so there is no more anyone. Then he said, can I pray at home? Can I stay at home and be praying? The Prophet ﷺ said, yes, you can pray. You can pray, observe your salah at home. When he turned around, he was going. The Prophet ﷺ called him back again. Where is that man? Come back. Can you hear the azan, the salah? He said, yes. Come on, you have to come to the masjid and pray.
It's like you do not understand.
I just want to take it, it's because it's a multiple question. Alright? It's a bit multiple. So, him observing prayer at home at 1 o'clock and coming to meet the people praying at 2 o'clock in the masjid is far better for him to observe that prayer with them in the masjid again. So that prayer he observed in the masjid with them will be considered as natural for him, and also he'll be rewarded with Jami'ah reward. But that 1 o'clock is valid. Is valid. Only if you have a valid reason of praying at home. I want to clear that air because most people have normalized praying at home without any reason. Some, sorry to say, not knowing that we are going towards the wrong way. Okay, you have to cultivate that habit of coming to the masjid and coming with your children and putting them through. Number 2, Salatul Asr. That clearly it shows that they did not pray at the right time. And don't pray because time of prayer is 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 3:40. Pray because this is the time of salah. Between this and this is the time of salah. When the time has come in, so when did it comes in and when did it goes out is what you should focus on manually. Don't too much rely in the auto because there will be slight changes. One of the conditions to accept salah is you must pray at its appointed time. Allah says, "Inna salata kanat ala mu'minin kitabun mawquta." Appointed time for it, and that's why it's giving more spaces. That if you miss the first time, you still have time to pray, if you have a valid reason. But what will actually stop you from praying? Only if you are very, very sick that you have no choice. Even if you are sick, you have to pray also. Because there is a hadith about that. If you can't stand, sit. If you can't sit, lean. If you can't lean, lie down. If you can't lie, indicate. Do you understand? At your sick bed. So those people praying at 3:30, while the prayer time comes in 4 o'clock, their prayer is null and void in capital letter. Because they did not pray at its appointed time. It is better to even pray after the time has come in, halfway, than praying before the time. So that is the mentality of the former people. When they used to say, "Why do you do this?" Then they say, "Legends of the former peoples." بَلْ وَجَدْنَا آبَاءَنَا كَذَلِكَ يَفْعَلُونَ. That's how they used to do, so we follow suit. No, Islam is not that type of religion. You perform whatever you do in this religion, you must have proof in doing it before it's been accepted. It's not just use your head or brain to brainstorm and I think I should do this, I think I should do that. No, Islam is free of that impurity. You have to have a proof, a very legitimate proof that signifies that you are doing this or that. So it has to be in its actual time. So for Asri, you don't follow them because they did not pray at the right appointed time. But for Zuhr, you can follow them. You get the difference. Then also, if you have that opportunity to sensitize them, to show them, to tell them, and show them the proof. That Asri time comes in when the shadow is equal to the shape of something. And it goes out this. So before you do that, you have to equip yourself also. That's why we mentioned the first fundamental objective to attain what? Knowledge. Acquire knowledge. Then practice the knowledge. Number 3, ad-da'watu ilayh. You have to call the people. It's an objective. It's a necessity. Your family, study with your household, your family, your siblings, everyone, then the community at large. Far as you can do. Then on the day of resurrection, Allah will question you and you will be able to answer, and those people will defend you. May Allah make it easier for us. This book is very, very important in your life. As-salah. The best action, nothing will go well in your life if you don't perfect your salah. Nothing will come in, what will fall to places if your salah is missing. You will never be successful. Never be successful if you don't hold on to your salah. And holding on to your salah, you must know the do's and don'ts in salah, how it's being performed before you could practice it. So it's very, very important. And it is the first thing that you'll be asked on the day of resurrection. As-salah. As-salah. If it's good, other things will be easy for you. But if it is not good, that's the beginning of your doomsday. May Allah protect us from that. May Allah accept this as an act of ibadah. وسبحانك اللهم ربنا وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت